Hello and a warm welcome to Nationwide on the NTA. I am Ifoma Ojinta. Workers loyal to the Nigerian Labour Congress stayed away from work this Tuesday in compliance with the directive of the industrial union to embark on a two-day warning strike. Amarachukwu Omenka, who went round Abuja to monitor the situation, has this report.
Not satisfied with just issuing directives for workers to Dantu for 2 days in protest over fuel subsidy removal, officials of the Nigerian Labour Congress went round to ensure full compliance.
We are not here fighting for ourselves, but it's a collective responsibility, and all of us must be responsibly responsible. But we are here to give you information as civil servants that all of us should go home. Please, let's stay back home today and tomorrow. Let us watch and see. It's just for 2 days.
And I mean, the policemen came early. They came and they've been trying to keep the place orderly. Initially, we had some traffic because we had to ask for identification so we can know who to send back and who to let in. But immediately we were able to clear the traffic. Everything has been going seamlessly.
Offices in many parts of the FCT remain closed as workers stayed away. While workers affiliated to NLC stayed away from work, those allied to the Trade Union Congress were on active duties. In Abuja, Umenka Rajuku, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Bakola Long, had met with the leadership of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, on Monday to appeal to organized labour not to embark on the warning strike. The meeting was behind closed doors at the Ministry of Labour and Employment. The federal government and TUC had agreed on 2 weeks deadline to address pending issues. TUC is to consult with NAC for further action. However, Nigeria Labour Congress did not show up.
Top of this demand was that the president has not pronounced anything relating to wage awards. Again, we also need to be pragmatic. This week, as we know, the president is outside the country and will be returning maybe sometime weekend or early next week. And that, Federal Assembly Council meeting will be held next week where some presentations will be made. And that the most reasonable time for them to get back to us is 2 weeks.
In those issues that we discussed, there are some that are very urgent. There are others that will require a long span of time. And this was the basis of our discussion. And we all agreed to that there will be no strike at this period.
Despite the agreement, the organized labour has gone ahead with the industrial action. To other news now, President Bola Tinubu has arrived in New Delhi, India, to attend the G20 Leaders Summit on the special invitation of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Nigerian 001 presidential air fleet landed in New Delhi at about 6:30 p.m. local time. The president's itinerary in India will include bilateral meetings with a cross-section of world leaders from 4 different continents, representing both G20 and non-G20 countries. These engagements are geared towards strengthening bilateral economic trade and investment partnership for mutual benefits. On the sidelines of the summit, the president will participate in and deliver keynote addresses at both the Nigeria-India Presidential Roundtable and the Nigeria-India Business Conference. The CEO Roundtable will be attended by leading industrialists in the Indian private sector, Nigerian industrialists, as well as senior government officials from both countries. The president aims to leverage this platform to attract global capital and promote increased foreign direct investments in key labor-intensive sectors of Nigeria's economy for job creation and revenue expansion. He will also use the opportunity to highlight Nigeria's attractiveness as an investment destination, specifically outlining his cross-sectoral reform plan as encapsulated by the Renewed Hope Agenda. President Tinubu is to return immediately after the conclusion of the summit. The federal government has restated commitment to implement policies that will grow the economy with clear vision to reduce poverty and other challenges. Vice President Kashim Shettima said this at the opening of the 16th Annual Banking and Finance Conference in Abuja. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Seated here are managers of Nigeria's financial institutions brainstorming to provide a structural transformation for national growth, Nigeria's economic growth and empowerment. The role of the financial services industry is the theme of the two-day conference, resonating towards addressing the economic challenges.
Now I must announce with pride that our decisions are already yielding tangible results, with boards, states, and federal governments now enjoying more substantial allocations. These funds promise a direct and positive impact on the lives of our citizens. Without the serially unaccounted fuel subsidies, we can now redirect our savings towards more deserving causes. We envision a future where no leader can resort to the tired excuse of scarcity of funds to evade completion of projects or delayed salary payments. Nigeria is crafting a story where the welfare of our people takes precedence and financial accountability reigns supreme.
Economic revival plan is on course, prioritizing rule of law, agriculture, poverty reduction, and other areas. Vice President Shettima said government is not leaving behind.
The reforms are intended, among others, to give the private sector all the necessary confidence to mobilize and invest more resources in what is no doubt an economy with one of the world's strongest absorptive capacity.
We'll be excited to offer our professional insights and make submissions in the budget and planning, given the quality and array of thought leaders within our fold.
This is an opportunity for us to share some of our take on what it would take for Nigeria to achieve that potential, coming at it not from the kind of inside perspective that all of you certainly have.
The federal government is also using some financial institutions in the digital market space by providing support, fostering an enabling environment, and improving access for the micro, small, and medium enterprises with single-digit loan. In Abuja, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
The federal government, in collaboration with the Japanese government, is currently working on enhancement of rice seed production, which will serve as a roadmap for the achievement of self-sufficiency in rice production and input substitution. Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, disclosed this when a team from the Japanese embassy, led by the ambassador, paid him a visit in Abuja. Nneka Oko reports.
Over the years, relations between Nigeria and Japan have been largely economic and trade-driven, as both countries have been cooperating in the areas of agriculture, trade, investment, technical aid, and grants. This visit by the Japanese ambassador is to further explore opportunities for collaboration. The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, emphasized Nigeria's eagerness to enhance the economic diversification agenda, while also highlighting the country's commitment to achieving a double-digit growth.
Because we are responsible for national planning, we want to urge you to assist us with such economic expertise that have helped Japan to overcome similar challenges.
The minister also received a team from the United Kingdom Nigeria Infrastructure Advisory Facility.
We visited with the Honourable Minister today to introduce the facility to him, explain what we've been doing in the area of infrastructure financing and support to the power sector, and also, quite importantly, understand what is of priority importance to the Honourable Minister.
In Abuja, Neka Uko, NTA News.
The United Arab Emirates has announced a $4.5 billion in clean energy investment in Africa. Charles Alpha reports that this came to the fore at a landmark climate summit aimed at attracting funding to combat global warming.
Africa's search for huge climate investment at the ongoing Africa Climate Summit is already yielding results. A $4.5 billion investment by the United Arab Emirates to jumpstart a pipeline for profitable clean energy projects on the continent was viewed by many as a very important step in realizing the summit's aims and objectives. Head of the government-owned renewable energy firm, Masdar, the United National Oil Company, ADNOC, and the COP28 climate talks, Sultan Al Jaber, gave Africa hope by this announcement at the summit. The investment is aimed at developing 15 gigawatts of clean power by 2030 and catalyze at least an additional $12.5 billion from multilateral public and private sources.
It is our ambition that this will launch a new transformative partnership to jumpstart a pipeline of bankable clean energy projects in this very important continent.
As of 2022, Africa's renewable generation capacity was 56 gigawatts. The urge here is for institutions to lower debt burdens. Countries in Africa are restricted by mounting debt costs and a dearth of finance, despite an abundance of natural resources. Just 3% of energy investments worldwide are made in the continent.
Renewable energy could be the African miracle, but we must make it happen. We must all work together for Africa to become a renewable energy superpower.
The three-day event in Nairobi, which began Monday, is built to bring together African leaders to define a shared vision for green development on the diverse continent of 1.4 billion people. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Indeed, one unique feature of Enugu State, the southeast capital, is the presence of artworks and statues at major junctions and roundabouts. These monumental artworks and sculptures are not just mere arts, but have deeper interpretations and significance. Worthy of note and exploration is the unique Unity Park, which, among other things, houses one of the largest roaring lion sculpture. Chimaroke Ugu gives a background report on this.
Urban sculptures, in addition to beautifying spaces, can undertake positive and important features such as transferring culture and history within communities, as well as being a tool for bringing culture into urbanization. Enugu State is a hub of artistic activities, both budding and monumental.
It's a three-dimensional, visual creation, that you can use to decorate an outdoor space.
And not only for beautification, it's a kind of historical kind of setup. Some sculptural works, which is dated back like this, maybe the Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty that is there in America was a gift from France to America, and you can read a full text on it.
So if you just remove this artwork, now here will become open. But once you drop a small sculpture, it unites the environment.
Scattered all over the core city are famous artworks created mostly by students of Fine and Applied Arts Department of Institute of Management Technology, Enugu, which defines both history and artistics of the city.
Sculpture is an artwork which will usually speak to situation. It may be an art piece addressing a particular situation.
For many tourists, sculptural designs and other exciting monumental concrete moldings at the city park is a sight to behold, especially that of a roaring giant lion sculpture. So, if you are a lover of art and sculpture, perhaps you should visit Enugu State. In Enugu, Chimaroke Ugu, NTA News.
Many thanks, Chibaroki. Let's now link up with our correspondent, Mina Ukwabasi, on the aesthetics and sculptures in Enugu State. Hello, Mina.
Hello, Ifoma. Thank you so much. Let me welcome you to the Unity Park in Enugu State. I can tell you that Unity Park is located right opposite the historical Opera Square. And just a little historical background of the Unity Park. This place was once a forest reserve before the former administration, decided to upgrade it to a Unity Park. And if you look right behind me there, you will see this particular giant roaring lion that we're talking about. But I may not be able to give you the historic, significance of that lion, but I have the person that will talk to you right after now. And of course, somewhere within this park, there is everything for everybody. Over there, you could see an artificial lake, okay? And this environment serves as an inspirational background for writers. Families come here for picnics of all kinds. In fact, if not that, it's been raining all day. I'm sure you would have seen that this place, was flooded. It usually gets flooded to the tips. And of course, for young couples about to get married, they do their pre-wedding, shoots right here. And many local movies have been shot right here at the Unity Park. And I can tell you that it's a beautiful environment. Anybody, in fact, a tourist destination, anybody will want to, come and take a look at. But I have the very person behind the huge sculpture of a roaring lion you're looking at there, Dr. Oke Ikenebu. It is his handiwork, so I think he'll be the one to tell us exactly the historical and significance of that roaring lion. And other sculptures, by the way, in Enugu. Doc, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about that huge sculpture.
The sculpture is Roaring Lion. We commenced work on it in 2019 and completed it in 2020. And it was commissioned precisely on May 29th, 2021. The idea behind the monument is like I got my inspiration from the Liberty Statue in America, which Plateau of French sculptor donated to American government in 1875, and then also the Sphinx in Egypt, Gaza Sphinx in Egypt. So this lion is not just an ordinary lion sculpture. It's a kind of superstructure. It's like a two-story building. There is the first floor, there is the second floor. You can get to the mouth of the lion, and from there you can take a panoramic view of the environment. And then inside the belly of the lion, there's enough space, fully air-conditioned, can take about 60 guests at a time. And then, in fact, when we started it, I told His Excellency, then Right Honorable Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, that the Southeast governors could come there and take a decision which will be binding on the governors themselves. And then also some of the dignitaries and important personalities in Igbo land can always come here and take a decision, and that will be binding on them. So that is the idea. And then you can see there are two spiral stairways to get to the various floors. Okay. And then also there's a drop ladder in case of emergency. And then also there's an empty void limb for installation of elevator for physically challenged people. Okay. And then this park was created around in the 80s. Okay. And then eucalyptus trees were planted to counterbalance the artificial environment of the three-armed zone, which is called the judiciary, the government, and then the legislature. So that is what is happening there. Okay. So at the end of the day, we came in here and began to do all the other things.
Thank you, Doc.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, you've heard it from Doc. Imagine having your own event right at the belly of a roaring lion. Well, that's something that somebody wants to experience. And of course, before we go, I also have Right here with me, Dame Ritamba. She is Executive Chairman, Tourism Board, and we want to just find out from you, Mom. Thanks for joining us on Nationwide today.
Thank you very much.
Briefly, how do you take care of this place, for the safety of the people that come here?
Yes, thank you very much. This place is very secure. It has its own natural security because it's in the Triam zone. Okay. By your right is the government's house, that's the judiciary, and then that's the House of Assembly. So it's very secure. We have security guards here. Okay. We fumigate this place all the time, and in fact, we're planning to prepare for destination Enugu Christmas in the park. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. All right, you have heard it that there's enough security here for everybody, and the Unity Park is a tourism destination for everyone. And if you haven't been here, girl, you're missing. And that's a contribution from Enugu, but of course, Nationwide continues with Adiola in Lagos.
Thank you. That was beautiful coming from Enugu. I will look forward to visiting that place soon. Now, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has taken over the medical care of a 13-year-old boy, Adebola Akin-Smith, who is grappling with measles small intestine at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. The governor announced the intervention when he paid unscheduled visits to the pediatric ward of the state's teaching hospital in Lagos. Musa Toliat has the details.
How did that happen? When did the small intestine got missing? And that is the question I've been asking as a mother since 17th of July up till this present moment.
The passionate plea by Deborah Abiodun, mother of 13-year-old Adebola, who is under intensive care at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital due to missing small intestine, necessitated the visit to the hospital by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
Debola is a very strong boy. He has strong will to live. Okay, Mr. Governor, please help me. That's why I'm not trying to blackmail anybody.
Getting a brief from the consultant pediatrician at the hospital was necessary.
The child has been losing weight because when somebody doesn't eat, progressively you still have muscle storage, fat storage, and progressively go down. So this child still does not have intestine, and the child is alive. So that story that, how can the child have remained alive without small intestine for so many days is not that.
So this is over a month, this is 6 weeks after.
This is 7 weeks actually.
Having listened with rapt attention, the governor pledged to take over Adebola's medical care and also pulled all medical expertise from LASUT and other resources to save the boy's life. Governor Sanwo-Olu's motivational chat with young Adebola gave a glimmer of hope that the 13-year-old would get back on his feet.
Adebola, how are you? I'm fine, sir. You know me? Fantastic. So I'm here. I can see your doctors. Right. We're going to do everything to make you get well. Okay? So, but I want you to be strong. I want you to be strong. It's going to be difficult, but I want you to be strong. Don't give up. God helping us to make sure that you get well. Amen. Okay? So don't give up. Okay? Thank you. Okay?
In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
Have you ever imagined the impact of a measure of kindness to a person who craved and received it? Such act of love, as demonstrated by renowned nun and missionary Mother Teresa for more than 45 years, informed the observance of International Day of Charity as embedded in the SDG agenda. It is an indispensable requirement for sustainable peace and development. Our correspondent examines the importance of the day and how philanthropic activities can promote love for humanity.
The word charity is described as the voluntary giving of assistance, typically in the form of money and material things to those in need. As expected, everyone has at one point or the other benefited from the goodwill and kindness of others. We all have tasted the milk of kindness from somebody we least expect.
I was called by my wife that my son is very sick, so I needed to transfer money. So I was speaking with my wife, not knowing that this particular lady was listening to me. So she called me and said, how much did I need? Then I said, I need 40,000. So she decided to give me 20,000 out of it.
So we went to town with a poser. Have you ever received help from someone you don't know? And have you rendered same to another?
I've rendered so for so many.
It's always a prayer that, well, God should
inspire somebody to do you good.
Lister forget, how does it feel to give?
When you give, people like us give, we are more happy. Giving is always at your capacity. Even you can give by your good advice, by your physical help, by your token, but feel for somebody.
It's all about reaching out to people to feel their emotional trauma, their psychological trauma, their mental trauma, to really touch the life of people positively.
In recognition of the role of charity in alleviating humanitarian crisis, efforts of charitable organizations and individuals as reflected in the works of Mother Teresa, the United Nations General Assembly designated the 5th of September as International Day of Charity. The day also commemorates the anniversary of the death of Mother Teresa. It is expected that beyond the observance of the day, we should all learn to extend hands of fellowship to others to make the world a better place for all. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos for now. Be reminded that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. Ogochukwuka Ona in Benin will come up next with their beat nationwide after these messages to stay.
Nationwide today, 5th September. And from this zone, we'll tell you that some critical sectors, including government offices in Edo, Ekiti and Ondo states, were shut down as workers joined the NLC's two-day warning strike over the rising cost of living caused by the subsidy removal of petrol. Ede Ago reports.
A drive around the major areas of Benin City revealed solemn movement, while the federal state secretariats, the State House of Assembly, were under lock and key as officials of the state chapter of the Congress were at strategic places ensuring compliance.
We met with the federal government. They said we should give them 1 month to do what we asked them to do. And now it's got to 2 months. No, they didn't call us again. They didn't tell us whether they are going to do 1 or 2. So that is why we are taking this action.
Shegun Lawole in Akure, Ondo State, reports that government meetings shut down while leaders of the NLC who moved around government offices chased out a few workers met on duty except the management staff. Ayodeji Okunshaki in Ado Ekiti reports that workers in Ekiti State also joined the strike. Our union monitoring team went around government offices to ensure compliance.
Subsidies removed. The anguish is there with us. Therefore, as a result of that, the federal government must do the needful in ensuring taken care of. We don't want a situation whereby people will not have what it takes to procure their drugs, to even get exit to office.
In Benin, Ede Ago, NTA News.
The Edo State Election Petition Tribunal has upheld the election of Adams Oshomole of the All Progressives Congress APC for Edo North Senatorial District and dismissed the petition filed by PDP and its candidate Francis Alemikena for lacking in merit. Rosemary Omani has that.
The three-man tribunal led by Justice Chijioke, while delivering the judgment in favor of the APC candidate on a petition filed by PDP and its candidate, Alemikena, maintained that the petition was lacking in merit. The petitioners had argued that the election of the APC candidates Adams Oshomole was characterized by overvoting, non-transmitting of results through the BVAS, cancellation of results, among other election malpractice. The tribunal, in its judgment, dismissed the petition for want of evidence and affirmed the election.
They called just one witness and they closed their case. And we did not order to the court just have to argue the point of law, and it is victory for democracy.
Counsel to the petitioners, Razak Hussein Alome, in his reaction said his clients will appeal the judgment.
The tribunal came to a conclusion that the petition has no merit, missed it, and gave reasons. but however expressed satisfaction over the conduct of the case by the council involved. That is all we can say. We cannot change the law. We say that the court is this.
In local development, the tribunal has also dismissed the petition filed by PDP candidate Jimoh Irokemes challenging the victory of the APC's candidate for Onwan Federal Constituency. In Homire Onwazovo, the petitioners say they will appeal the judgment. In Benin, Rosemary Omani, NTA News.
All right, that's the reports from this end. At this time, we return to Abuja. Ifoma is back to you.
Thank you very much, Ogo. Now, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has pledged to strengthen healthcare delivery services in all the hospitals. The minister made the pledge during a meeting with medical unions in his office in Abuja. Onozi Yakubu tells us more.
This meeting between the FCT minister and the medical unions is coming on the heels of the federal government circular of 8 years tenure retirement for directors cadre. Chairman of Nigerian Medical Association FCT chapter Dr. Ugwanyi Charles and other union leaders solicit the support of the FCT minister in addressing the lacuna the circular might create in the health sector.
Let me submit at this point by harping on the overall implication of this exercise on not only the medical doctors but also the expanding Abuja population. The Capital Territory Administration happened to have a very strange interpretation of a very straightforward formula from the federal government.
I would implore all of you to please still temper, whatever it is, to what we have to offer.
FCT minister represented by the Minister of State, Dr. Maria Mahamoud, assures that the administration will study the backup documents for medical doctors with a view to addressing the issue of concern.
None of our other hospitals has released this circular or even implemented it in any of the other federal hospitals. So these are things that we need to have a clarification, and for us to come with a final solution to this problem, we have to include other stakeholders.
Statistics indicate that people from the neighboring Nasarawa and Niger states, as well as other contiguous states, come to the FCT to access medical care. To this end, stakeholders say it has become imperative for urgent action to be taken to put this matter to rest. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Nigerians have been urged to keep hope alive and support the renewed hope agenda of the present administration as it takes difficult decisions that will unlock the potentials of the country on the long run. Speaking on the first 100 days of the Tinubu administration, guests appraised key policy decisions of the administration. Dennis Temple monitored the conversation.
The discussions on the first 100 days of the Tinubu's administration centered around policy direction of the renewed hope agenda of the government. The guests applauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for taking bold decisions on removing fuel subsidy and reviving the economy, especially on fiscal policies and tax reforms.
Inherited, and that set plans, projections regarding the strategies you will make, you will apply to move the nation forward. We have seen efforts by the government in this direction, albeit the inherent challenges associated with it. The government started with bold initiative.
The government in power came into a tough situation. Globally, it is a global context of economic challenges. Every country is dealing with its own levels of challenges because we're dealing with a post-COVID world, and then we're dealing with the Russia-Ukraine war, and all of that has affected a lot of things globally. Within the continent also, if you go to almost every country, there is an inflation is almost in most of our countries and within the continent.
They, however, want the president and his team to do more in ameliorating the challenges faced by the Nigerian people as a result of the decisions taken.
From the president's style, we can also see somebody that is passionate about delivering, dividends of democracy to Nigeria, passionate about fulfilling his promises to Nigeria. And you are also seeing him as somebody that listens. I think that is very key.
The guests also want Nigerians to keep the government on its toes by demanding good governance, as well as calling its attention where it seems to be derailing. In Abuja, Dennis Temple, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has expressed disapproval over alleged illegal auctioning of public property by some government agencies and non-remittance of revenue realized into the consolidated revenue of the Federation. To this end, an ad hoc committee of the House, chaired by the House Leader, has been inaugurated to investigate the process of disposal of public property by the Nigerian Ports Authority, Nigeria Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nigeria Railway Corporation, River Basin Development Authority, the Nigerian Railway Corporation, and Nigeria Customs Service between 2010 and 2022.
I want to also use this to summon here the Ministry of Water Resources. The clerk will do a letter to them, since they were fully responsible for this asset disposal in the River Basin Authority.
The committee says procedures for the investigation will include all known global best practices for disposal of public assets and evaluation methods. The pace of Africa's economic growth has been attributed to security and technological challenges. The National Defense College, Abuja, is equipping its personnel to address the security challenges on the continent.
A recent survey shows that Nigeria is ranked 32, South Africa 39, and Egypt 40 on the chart of 40 developing economies. This staggering growth is as a result of a series of challenges such as poverty, security, leadership style, among others.
A cursory look at Africa.
This gathering of experts seeks to provide practical and adaptable solutions to the challenges, to the problems.
It is hoped that with good economic growth plans and implementation, African countries will harness their potentials and grow their economies to be among the top 20 economies in the world with commensurate impact on regional development.
For us to attract foreign direct investments in our countries within the region, there has to be purposeful and good governance.
The recent tax reforms that have been initiated by the government, these are all aimed at promoting investment and then promoting economic development.
The event, organized by the National Defense College, is one of the activities marking the graduation of 2023 course 31 participants.
The Acting Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has set up a 7-man panel of inquiry headed by the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Force Criminal Investigation Department, DIG Abiodun Alabi, with a mandate to conduct a thorough and impartial investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of Cadet Suleiman Jika. A statement by the force says the IGP has set a deadline of 4 days for the panel to furnish it with a comprehensive report detailing its findings and recommendations. Meanwhile, the IGP extends his heartfelt condolences to the family and relations of Suleiman Jika, assuring his family that the force will do everything to ensure justice is served in the case. The Nigerian Postal Service, NIPOST, has unveiled a new stamp, the Pan-African Postal Union Purple postage stamp. Chimdeman Dobisi reports that this is to commemorate the commissioning of Purple Tower in Arusha, Tanzania.
Postage stamps as emblems for communication exchange and commerce are valued as channels for supplying information about a country's history, culture, or as reminders of events. So, as the Pan-African Postal Union, PAPO, a body that coordinates postal development in the continent, inaugurates its headquarters in Tanzania, a 17-story tower project. Member states have rolled out a single postage stamp as charity to support the project.
The Nigerian version of the stamp depicts the Purple Tower in Arusha, juxtaposed with the Zuma Rock, a popular national monument site in Nigeria. The stamp is in 250 naira denomination with a surcharge value of plus 5 naira, thus making a total of value of 255 naira. This 5 naira, when we put together after 6 months, will be remitted to Purple office.
This commodity stamp will serve as a reminder of the valuable contribution of Pan-African Postal Union has made to our lives. They also serve as expression of our shared identity, our cultural heritage, and our collective hopes and aspirations.
250,000 copies are available in Nigeria and are to also serve as philately product for sale for those who collect and study stamps or other postal delivery materials. In Abuja, Chimdemma Ndubisi, NTA News.
And for more reports on Nationwide, we now join Mary in our Jos Network Center. Hello, Mary.
And welcome to Jos. Governor Caleb Mutfwang says the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning has a responsibility of streamlining activities of ministries, departments and agencies of government, cut costs, add value to governance and increase productivity. The governor stated this at a retreat organized by the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning in Jos. Grace Akweguti has details.
The retreat has the Green Cap vision and the 7-point policy trust for inclusive budgetary engagement. The time is now for good governance on the plateau as its theme.
It will go a long way to ease our work and to bring a wider understanding of what we do as a ministry.
I want to say that this workshop or training is going to increase our capacity. It's going to broaden our scope.
Governor Mutfwang commended the ministry for organizing the retreat, stressing that the time has come for the state governments to streamline some NDAs who have overlapping functions to cut costs and improve service delivery.
We must be able to know that institutions are not built around personalities. We must be able to build institutions that will outlast us as individuals.
Commissioner of Budget and Planning, Christentus Dawam, says the retreat is an offshoot from the last retreat held in NIPS for political appointees, and its essence is to invest skills, knowledge and empower individuals and organizations who will in turn impact on their places of responsibilities. In Jos, Grace Akweguti, NTA News.
The Plateau State Police Command has paraded 26 suspects for various criminal offences. Saadat Mohammed Kafa reports.
Parading the suspects, the Commissioner of Police, Julius Okoro Alawari, says strategies have been deployed to prevent crime and secure lives and property of citizens. The suspects include an escapee in the recent Jos jailbreak, who was also involved in the abduction of 7 students of the University of Jos.
The command will continue to fight crime in this state to ensure that we restore peace.
The swift action of the police, he adds, led to the rescue of an 8-month-old baby who was abducted by one patient, Solomon.
I asked her to please help me carry the child so that I will sweep the shop. She now bagged the baby and told me that she was going home.
Other suspects were found with unlawful possession of firearms, theft of transformer cables and culpable homicide.
I'm here because I take my friend baby to Lagos, because my friend, no matter where she's going to, sometimes she used to leave the child with me from morning to evening like that. So I used to take care of the child, and I'm so at that adult, as in very close to the child.
They wanted to kill me at the spot, and I happened to get in touch with one of the knives they were holding, so I stabbed one of them, and the boy died.
The police commissioner is asking the public to give useful information to security personnel for quick action. In Jos, Saadat Muhammad Kafa, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Just Nationwide continues in Ibadan with Kemi after the break.
You're welcome back, and we apologize as we will not be able to link up with our Ibadan Network Center. We seem to be having some issues linking up with them there. We apologize. Now, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, says the party is poised to establishing a national institute for progressive studies aimed at developing capacity of future leaders through transparent and visionary process. The national chairman was speaking when the APC Progressive Change Agents initiatives paid him a courtesy visit at the party's secretariat. The visit, the delegation confirmed, was to present a detailed roadmap towards ensuring future victories through previous data collection and analysis.
We cannot afford to operate under standard or below standard. So it is in the view of this that we are ready to provide the party with actionable insights that allows for targeted and effective campaigning by understanding the specific concerns and aspirations of different demographics.
The APC will soon establish what we call National Institute for Progressive Studies, so that we examine democratic ideals and see how we can promote democratic ideals among the population, especially among the APC members, so that we can be able to forecast success even before the time of the success.
The chairman said the institute will assist in projecting the ideals and philosophies of the party and thanked the delegation for identifying with the party leadership, promising fruitful partnership that will promote good governance and strengthen party unity. And next is sports updates.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria will commence preparations for their final group match of the 2023 AFCON qualifier on Wednesday in Uyo, as the team camp opens to players, officials, and other stakeholders. The Eagles take on Sao Tome and Principe this weekend in their final qualifying game in Group A. The Eagles are through to the tournament after amassing 12 points from 5 games, while their opponents are bottom of the group with just a point. In badminton, the Badminton Federation of Nigeria says it will build on the success gained after hosting the 6th edition of the Lagos International Badminton Classics, which ended at the Teslim Balogun Stadium. Over 150 players from 30 countries featured at the week-long tournament, which also created opportunity for the players to garner more ranking points ahead of the 2024 Olympics. In the men's singles final, top seed Brazilian Jonathan Matthias beat Pablo Abian of Spain by 2-0. Nigerian players improved their rankings, while for the first time, Nigerian player featured in the semi-final. In basketball, the second edition of the Louis Idem Invitational Basketball Championship has ended at the Indoor Sports Hall of the National Stadium, Surulere, Lagos, with improvement in the game. In the women's final, Nigeria's league champions First Bank defeated MFM 46-39, while Rivers Upas defeated Sprintex Knights of Ghana 74-56 to emerge champions. Rivers Upas were unbeaten in 6 matches till the end of the competition.
Our hope is, to keep running this type of championship to supplement what the MBBF is doing. We want to keep basketball going. We want to keep this athletes playing.
Winning this championship is not, for me, I'll say it's just a stepping stone.
16 teams from Ghana, Benin Republic, and Nigeria featured in the tournament. With sports update, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
And that's it on Nationwide for today. We thank you for watching. I am Ifoma Ojinta, and bye for now.